Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game, Biko versus Inspired. This game taking place here on Springtime 1.3. Speaking of 1.3, or rather 1.33 versus 1.34, wasn't able to cast a couple of games that were recommended to me because Blizzard came out with a new patch that didn't affect balance, but did end up changing a lot how I guess their how BattleNet worked. Um, so, well, unfortunately, that is the case. Um, I would have thought by now that Blizzard would have been able to find a way to update the update the software, update what is going on with the WarCraft 3 community without negatively affecting how the games are actually played amongst, well, like being able to watch replays. Unless there's a balance change, there's no reason why replays shouldn't work from patch to patch. Um, but that is just my take on it. I'll let you guys leave your comments below or here on the Twitch chat as things get underway. Human versus Undead, Inspired versus Biko here on Springtime 1.3, as Inspired opening up as the teal human at the 4 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Biko spawning as the purple Undead at the 10 o'clock position. We are opening up with an Ultra of Darkness Death Knight. That was a sped build Archmage to get that Archmage out just a little bit faster. Hope that Biko will inspire to make a good, will be inspired to make a good game. Yep. We'll see. We'll see how inspired everyone really is, as we are looking at an acolyte coming in for a bit of harassment already. No footman in this party just quite yet, as the Archmage finishes off that first unit. That sped built Ultra of Kings allows that Archmage to reach out onto the battlefield just a little bit faster, but delays the barrack, so only one footman currently out. But that is the point of militia, or some of the power of militia, being able to clear out creep camps with those early peasants. Quick death coil onto the Archmage. Archmage tries to drop a water elemental, does get some damage onto that Death Knight, as the Archmage still running around in the circles so far. Where is he going to try and go next? Down to 373 hit points. Death Knight going to perhaps be launching in some death coils. Archmage still wandering around here and losing a bit of time, it would seem. All right, Archmage only has a very small army, and we're looking at perhaps, yes, a militia clear out of the mercenary creep camp at the 3 o'clock position. The Death Knight's looking for where exactly that Archmage can be and decides to give up chase, knowing that trying to hunt down the Archmage at this point would not be very beneficial, just wasting a bit of time perhaps. Water Elemental is being dropped here. Inspired really should be going after this Forest Troll High Priest. Going to take it down, giving level 2 to the Archmage and grabbing that Brilliance Aura. All right. Never knew vultures could fly in, well, fly in such cold weather, but yeah, that looks like a desert vulture, a carry-on vulture, so to speak, as opposed to a vulture that does, well, like handles around snow. Wouldn't I guess Lordaeron and what happens in Lordaeron is significantly different than what happens here on Earth. Anyways, coming back around, Death Knight going to be sitting at level 1, getting to level 2 off of this creep camp, will be picking up most likely Unholy Aura. Meanwhile, the Archmage has picked up a Ring of Regeneration and needs quite a bit of mana in order to, well, continue all of that creeping. We could be looking at a Scout Tower, Town Hall, and Arcane Vault being built at the expansion, as Inspired has yet to set up his tech to Tier 2. Meanwhile, Biko behind this is already nearly at Tier 2 and will be able to put in a lot of pressure with that follow-up Lich or Dark Ranger. Death Knight sitting at level 2 here, going to clear out some creep camps, but he could end up getting creep jacked by the level 3 Archmage, and Archmage ready to put in some pressure again. All right, gonna go after perhaps a Forest Troll Trapper. No, not going after these creeps, even though it would be pretty easy to just go after them. Death Knight actually stayed relatively close to the creep camp, going after the polar bear here, and gonna perhaps catch with footmen retreating back the other way. Death Knight sitting at level 2, some high level creeps still here, a level 5 and a level 3, as skeletal minions still joining in on the battle. Archmage drops in a level 2 water elemental, putting in pressure, finishes off an acolyte, and now who's gonna get the final kill on the ogre magi? It is the Death Knight with a death coil, as the Archmage now still trying to rack up damage on that Death Knight. Death Knight down to 316 hit points, as the Archmage does have Boots of Speed, gonna try and get in front and perhaps yet launch 1 or 2 more fireballs. Death Knight, however, should be able to get plenty of mana, or enough mana to heal up that Crypt Fiend, even though I'm sure he wants to get to level 3 first. All right, there is a Temple of the Damned. Okay, so Biko going for, well, the Western style of undead, quickly going for Temple of the Damned. We should also be looking at a slaughterhouse for meat wagons, and we should be seeing perhaps some sort of tier 2 timing push. This is going to be difficult, as Inspired just now started his tech to tier 2 on that Town Hall. He may not be able to get Priest with Adept Training and Dispel Magic in time. And with that, well, the expansion may fall. Pitlord joining in on the fight, and wow, did not predict this one. Pitlord was an old style hero used to often pressure with Rain of Fire at the expansion, and that's what it looks like it's going to be the case here. There is that Rain of Fire. There's a Death Coil. Repairs are not going to be able to do all that much. Archmage comes in with the Staff of Teleportation, as the Pitlord going to go ahead and use that Rain of Fire right there. Even if the Arcane Tower tries to hit the Pitlord, the damage is already done. All right, Pitlord could still rack up a little bit more damage. That is a lot of low hit point peasants, denying peasants in the midst of this battle. Beautifully done right there. Denying 75 experience with those kills. And now militia are being called back over. All right, Forest Troll, Shadow Priest getting in, or Ice Troll Priest, excuse me, getting in harm's way. Death Knight may be down here, down to 75 hit points, and being forced to retreat back. Footman and Archmage trying to chase after this army here. There is one, well, Sentry Ward keeping track of everything going on, and that little bit of delay perhaps getting more Necromancers and, well, some Obsidian statues out onto the battlefield, but we also need to see some meat wagons if we expect to see the Necromancers be able to get that prop up army up quickly enough. All right, Death Knight down to 113 hit points. Death Knight could be in a lot of trouble. What's going to happen here? Pitlord's going to finish off, pick up the Boots of Quelt the Lost, try to finish off a little bit more. Archmage, however, should be able to clean up the remainder of this creep camp, and also has a potion of greater healing behind this. Tech to tier 2 is nearly done by Inspired. We are looking at more Necromancers being trained, 1 Obsidian statue, and no, I repeat, no meat wagons whatsoever, as we are, well, a little bit supply blocked right now, as the Ziggurat is not yet done. All right, perhaps we'll see a meat wagon being trained up here in just a moment, as the Pit Lord going after this creep camp here really needs to get to level 2. The Death Knight actually perhaps shouldn't be staying so close, as it is preventing that Pit Lord from getting to level 2 now. Necromancers joining in on the battle. They have Adept Training. Meanwhile, Footmen are going to try and attack here. There's a Spirit Tower, Nerubian Tower, and the Halls of the Dead with that 11 to 12 piercing, or normal, I believe it is piercing damage, that also slows down the attackers. Now, only the Footmen's Defend reflects back the Spirit Tower and the Halls of the Dead. The Nerubian Tower still deals full damage, as it is considered normal damage. All right, coming back around, Necromancers could try and prop up more units here, but Inspired playing a great game and able to really put in the pressure here, as Halls of the Dead are continuing to train up more units. Footmen could end up falling. Still plenty of towers here. Footmen, well, Necromancers getting cleaned up by the Water Elementals, as the Archmage is already sitting at level 4. Coming back down to the south tier, expansion, well, in a little bit of trouble. Pit Lord actually out of mana now, as the Death Knight tries to, well, dive on in. Blacksmith getting added in, but it feels like Inspired is just playing a better game so far, as Biko is having a bit of a difficulty trying to, well, find his footing. All right, plenty of Footmen swarming along the inside here, and somehow the Undead unable to hold the door against the Archmage and the Footmen with Defend here, as the, well, Haunted Gold Mine may actually end up getting taken down. in a base trade scenario, if you have more bases, well, then you are generally in a better spot. But I would not count out biko as of yet, as well. We've seen undead come back multiple times. All right, necromancers summoning up some skeletal warriors. It looks as though the haunted gold mine will not fall, and as there are enough acolytes here, what is going on? There's the teleportation. One footman still here, as this one acolyte now going to perhaps head back to that haunted gold mine and start training up some more units. Archmage now leading the charge back down across here. Death Knight gonna well perhaps try to fend off this attack. There is one obsidian statue, but the obsidian statue is already out of mana, trying to finish off another peasant there as the Archmage, and now going up against a level 3 Death Knight, and well, now level 4 Death Knight, and soon to be level 3 Pit Lord, as the obsidian statue is just cornered into the back here. Level 5 Archmage with level 2 or level 3 water elementals, most likely, as the Mountain King also comes out here onto the battlefield. Once Stormbolt becomes ready and available against all of these units, well, you better believe each undead unit is going to be dropping fairly fast. Archmage down to 166 hit points. Death Knight trying to get in front, getting a little bit of damage as the Archmage forced to use that potion of greater healing. Death Knight now in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be forced to retreat back down to 286 hit points. A Stormbolt could land. He gets stopped for just a quick moment. We may see a Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. No Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Pit Lord actually getting stuck a little bit here. Death Knight needing a little bit of heal. There's a Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend instead. Stormbolt as it gets stunned down. Death Coil a day late and $1 short, missing that opportunity there as another Crypt Fiend about to get taken down. Absolute easy cleaning up here, but the Mountain King has taken quite a bit of damage and is low on mana. Really no part in this battle this Mountain King should be. All right, Unholy Frenzy on that Pit Lord. So Pit Lord with Unholy Frenzy, Gloves of Haste, and well, Cleave could really rack up a large amount of damage. Stormbolt finding the back of a Necromancer there, as the Pit Lord is able to slice and dice through a couple of units. That cleave, that splash damage does add up very quickly when you have a very fast attack speed. And on top of that, well, nothing to be on top of that. The Death Knight actually acting as a supporting hero, allowing the Pit Lord to dive into those situations while still constantly getting healed. Obsidian statue there, 25 supply compared to 34. 2 base human versus 1 base undead. Army of undead is rather small. Level 5 Archmage, level 1 Mountain King, going up against a level 4 Death Knight and a level 3 Pit Lord. All right, are we going to be looking at Howl of Terror as the counter ability? That is another great question here. Very fast attack speed on that Pit Lord. Pit Lord could really rack up damage quickly. You can see him slicing and dicing with that long cleave there, taking down a sorceress, just because of a little bit of splash damage being added in once more. Pit Lord now coming in, Rain of Fire, looking to take down this scout tower. The Necromancers I originally thought were here for a Raise Dead, but they are actually here for that Unholy Frenzy on that Pit Lord, and that Pit Lord can rack up large amounts of damage. All right, Pit Lord in that frontline spot, looking to slice and dice through many of those units. Death Knight now going after the Mountain King. Mountain King, however, has plenty of hit points, can easily absorb the Death Knight's Death Coil. All right, Obsidian Statue trying to retreat back here. Pit Lord still, well, racking up more damage. Stormbolt's going down onto the Necromancer. Necromancer getting saved a little bit, as without the piercing damage of those water elementals, don't have to really worry as far too much. Obsidian Statues now getting, well, a bit of feedback damage from those spell breakers, as the Obsidian Statue, the glue that holds the undead army together, needs to do a little bit of a dance as well. All right, Mountain King trying to find its target. Obsidian Statue down to 50 hit points, down to 22. One more attack, it will get taken down, but the Spellbreaker is lost as well. Coming back around, Spellbreaker's Archmage trying to hold it together here. There's some Scroll of Regeneration. Pit Lord now raining down Rain of Fire, or raining down fire with that Rain of Fire, as stopping a bit of mining again. Death Knight still looking to fight back here. Pit Lord does have that quick cleave attack. You can see that damage going up against multiple targets again and again, and now may actually find that Mountain King. No, Scroll of Healing quickly used there to try and heal up some of the Spellbreakers, and the Pit Lord's cleave is actually making it difficult to use Scrolls of Regeneration, as the Pit Lord's wide swiping strikes are dealing massive damage to pretty much all the units here. Mountain King going to finish off another Crypt Fiend there. Staff of Sanctuary saving that Mountain King as he's going to retreat back as the Pit Lord now gets up to level 4. Level 2, Rain of Fire as the Pit Lord with Unholy Frenzy trying to chase after back some more units. All right, no Obsidian statue here, so the mana is low on those Necromancers. Death Knight laying in back, trying to see if there's going to be any additional reinforcements coming around. 30 supply compared to 32, as biko has taken the slight supply lead. Only 8 workers here, so 3 workers here. Perhaps that advanced lumber gathering is done, but army of biko sitting at 32 right now and continuing to grow as well. No real counter has been found to deal with this Pit Lord with a decent amount of armor, a very fast attack speed, and the Death Knight promising to give it additional hit points with those burst heals. Archmage sitting at level 5. Thank you for the follow. The price is... Oh, good gosh. All right. I wish I had a moderator. All right. I don't need ads in the middle of my casting. Death Knight, Pit Lord trying to make its way back around here. Water Elemental going to go ahead and try and engage. Here we are. Well, Furbo is going to engage here. Paladin, that third and final hero for the human army. Mountain King now seeing that level 3, getting level 2 Stormbolt. Where's metaphysics when you need them? Yeah, exactly. Well, if my channel becomes large enough where I actually start really needing moderators and it can't be self-moderated, well, I guess that's a good problem to also have. Hey, Red Warrior, how you doing? All right, coming back around, Mountain King, Paladin, Archmage, going to come through here. Sorceresses, now it was throwing down some slow. Paladin could end up getting taken down. A little bit of cleave damage, going to find itself. No, Paladin down to 22 hit points. Wow, somehow able to dodge that last bit of damage there. Meanwhile, Mountain King trying to find the Death Knight, unable to land any Stormbolts here as we're still looking at more damage coming back on through. Paladin sitting at 36 supply, somehow still holding steady and strong as the units are coming back again. Inspired, finding a new way to win the game and put pressure on biko as he now looks to retreat back. All right, Death Knight. Are we going to find a Death Coil? No, we are not. Death Knight just a little bit late on the trigger as we see another Stormbolt finding a Crypt Fiend, and that will get taken down. Sudden loss of 6 supply, and now Inspired has taken the lead once more. No lead is safe, or no supply lead is safe after all this time. Level 5 Death Knight, level 4 Pit Lord. If that Pit Lord gets up to level 5 as well, well, you better believe that the Paladin may end up getting dove upon. Archmage does have that Staff of Sanctuary ready to go for that Paladin just in case things do go a bit sideways. Pit Lord now looking to find, well, no, Pit Lord doesn't need to find the Paladin. The Death Knight found him with a long distance Death Coil, taking it down pretty cleanly. Meanwhile, trying to finish off some more units here. Stormbolt onto the Pit Lord. Pit Lord still has plenty of hit points and gonna have perhaps a 600 hit point heal. No, or is that Orb of Fire? No Orb of Fire. There is a big heal right there, continuing to fight its way through as the Necromancers suddenly pop out an army, and now making it difficult for Inspired to figure out his positioning and strengths. Necromancers are still at add-up training as the Pit Lord can perhaps slice and dice his way through many of these targets here. Looking at a Knight down to 108 hit points. Is going to get taken down to 66. It looks like it will end up surviving. Beautiful micro by Inspired to keep some of these lower hit point units alive, as we're going to see another Knight be able to leave as well. All right, pop-up army constantly getting summoned back out. Pit Lord fighting his way through, perhaps going to take down a couple of units as there is a Water Elemental, and now the Pit Lord is in fact at level 5 with level 3 cleave. That damage does rack up very, very quickly. Water Elemental is trying to go after all of those Necromancers. Are we going to see a Death Coil on a low hit point Knight? No, that Knight is not low enough yet, as there is no Lich to follow things up as we are going into Black Citadel. Beautiful play, and I've got to believe there are more low hit point Knights somewhere. There's one low hit point Knight. Were the other ones actually finished off? I thought I saw 2 or 3. Perhaps there's only one Knight that got saved after all that time. So Inspired still ended up giving a bit of experience to his opponent, but now that all of his enemies Well, all of the undead heroes are at level 5. No additional levels unless it is experience given by Inspired's army. Coming back through, are we going to look at no potential creep jack on a dangerous red creep camp? A little bit out of position right there as the Death Knight and Pitlord now look to dive on in. All right, we're going to see Rain of Fire. Yes, we are. Bit of damage getting racked up across all of those units. Arcane Tower now up on that Pitlord. Death Knight perhaps going to try and go after the Knight. The Knight down to 737 hit points as we're looking at, well, 2 guard towers and 2 arcane towers really racking up the damage. Pitlord trying to take down these towers here. The towers don't even have that many masonry upgrades, but still that damage is rather high. Pitlord, is he going to try and swipe through here? He's going to take down 1 guard tower, and that is it. Archmage comes in with Staff of Teleportation, and here we are. There's a bit of unholy frenzy as the units are retreating back. Mountain King and Paladin going to continue to try and do some difficult creep camp leveling as the Archmage gets up to level, or staying at level 5 and able to defend the home. Pitlord looking to clear out creep camps, making it difficult. Even though he can't gain experience, he can still gain the items and a bit of gold. That Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3, adding in a bit more damage again, as we're going to be looking at, well, big or more damage coming back on through across all of these towers. Multiple towers are just constantly getting pressured. Death Knight does have a Scroll of Town Portal, so can easily get out of this situation here. Now Mountain King is running back with Boots of Speed and that Jangle of Endurance, trying to finish things off here. Death Knight is going to be forced to use a Death Coil and Scroll of Town Portal here in just a moment. Not quite sure what is taking so long here. Why isn't he using that scroll? Well, I guess at this point he's just saying, you know what? All I need is this Pitlord to constantly be swiping, and if he's just surrounded by units, it actually works out well for me. Death Knight still has plenty of mana, so that Pitlord with 1100 hit points is just slicing and dicing through so many units and doesn't even need to be healed just quite yet. Trying to rack up more damage here. There's going to be some more Holy Light, trying to add up some more damage. There's another Death Coil finding a target, and now the Death Knight may finally end up getting taken down. Is he going to be able to finish off that Knight there? No, he is not, as the Pitlord does get back out of town after a Scroll of Town Portal. It does not look like... Well, nope, Lich is already out here on the battlefield. Orb of Corruption, it needs to be added to that Lich's arsenal as well, as even level 1 Frost Nova can add in a bit of additional damage to finish off units with that level 3 Death Coil. Well, just getting that unit within that level 3 Death Coil range. All right. How are things going to go here? Pitlord, Death Knight going to engage here. Lich really wants all of the experience. Not going to be able to do all that much. Pitlord slicing and dicing through this creep camp like it is a hot knife through butter, as the Pitlord now makes its way back down to the south. Meanwhile, 8 o'clock position here. Giant Polar Bear, Magnetar, Reaver. Well, Human Army, level 4 Mountain King, level 3 Paladin. This is looking very strong. Significant hero level advantage for the Human Army, and also with that, the items should have been better as well. It looks like many of the items were in fact sold though, but the Mountain King does have Unholy Aura and the Endurance Aura as well. Not quite as strong, but together they're perhaps just as effective as level 1 Unholy Aura, as we're looking at Unholy Frenzy now being cast across multiple units. All right, Frost Nova onto the Mountain King. Mountain King trying to retreat back. Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight could be in a little bit of trouble as the Mountain King now trying to retreat back here. Death Knight still seeing that level 5 trying to retreat here. Lich continuing the fight. He also has Unholy Frenzy, so he's going to be attacking very quickly as the ghouls are now trying to go after that Knight there. That little bit of armor being removed or going to be a bit of a problem as the Pitlord able to slice and dice and really rack up quite a bit of damage. Necromancer trying to pop up more units, but the Dispel Magic from the Priest finding those targets pretty easily. There goes a Frost Nova onto the Paladin, followed and a Death Claw. I don't believe a single Frost Nova would have been enough, but that 1-2 combination more than enough right there. Pitlord continuing to fight his way through, perhaps trying to slice and dice more of those units as the Archmage does get up to level 6. Level 6 Archmage not yet chosen an ultimate, or nope, goes for level 3 Brilliance Aura to keep all of those units alive and well. Meanwhile, we are looking at a knight about to join back out here onto the battlefield. And, well, the Pit Lord could be coming back around. The Lich could try and engage. And here we are. There's the damage onto the Death Knight. Death Knight, however, still has plenty of mana and going to be able to keep this army alive and well. Paladin looking to get resurrected about a quarter of the way through. We're going to be looking at another water elemental getting taken down. Stormbolt onto the Necromancer. Necromancer gets a big heal right there, as the Necromancer is, in fact, at mastery training. Militia trying to take down the Obsidian statues. 44 supply compared to 29. Human army is significantly larger, but some of them are just not being able to engage at all. All right, we're looking at a bunch of militia joining in here. Death Knight gets up to level 6. Death Knight, if he had... Does he go for level 3 Unholy Aura? Yes, he does. And now going after some more knights as well. 34 supply compared to 24, as another knight gets taken down as well. All right, Necromancers, one or two more shots should easily finish him off. That one Necromancer just glad that he's not the one being focused on. There goes one Necromancer down. Another Necromancer about to get taken down, as we see a Stormbolt and a Death Coil onto that Lich. Death Knight no longer having any mana to try and go after that Mountain King. Pit Lord trying to go after the units the old-fashioned way, just slicing and dicing its way through. No more Unholy Aura or Unholy Frenzy. And now with that, the slow of the sorceresses are just that effective. Mountain King trying to push back the other way. Paladin now suddenly out here onto the battlefield, and this attack will be stopped in its tracks. You cannot be continuing this aggression here. All right, Pit Lord down to 500 hit points, and this is really the first time the Pit Lord's been in danger of falling. The Lich may actually be the first to fall here, as there is a Holy Light finishing him off. Pit Lord trying to run all the way back home. Looks like it will be able to do exactly that. Death Knight does pick up a Scroll of Town Portal and a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, as the Lich is most likely going to be resurrected back at home once gold is available. Now, remember, biko, through all of this, does still have gold being mined. So the longer this game goes, the better. But, what's going to end up going down here? Pit Lord wanting to run around in circles is going to end up getting taken down to 225 hit points and stays alive. Obsidian statue now, getting constructed here. A human army inspired needs to make some quick work of this expansion here. He cannot allow this expansion to continue to mine freely, as that's the only way that biko can get back into this game. Lich is getting resurrected here. We can see Obsidian statue trying to join in on the fight. As soon as that Obsidian statue is there, you better believe the Death Knight will be giving a death coil off onto the Pit Lord, and then perhaps trying to make a bit of a stand at the haunted gold mine here. A little bit of damage being done. One knight and one water elemental all being left behind here to clean up this economic advantage, as he forces his opponents to unsummon that gold mine. 25 supply army compared to 34. Not that much gold left. Perhaps another obsidian statue or some consumable items here. What else can be trained? As you can see, the necromancers are bringing up some of these units here. Lich does have Lich will be making a play out of here in just a moment. And both sides are going to be trying to stand tall and stand strong. Stormbolt straight up onto the Lich. Lich, it takes a Death Coil already. Not exactly what the Death Knight needed. He wanted to save that mana if possible. Lich is already in some serious trouble. There's another Death Coil there, and it is trying to hold on ever so dearly. Finally gets taken down after so much damage getting added up. Mountain King sitting at level 5. Level 3 Stormbolt is going to be available. Perhaps trying to find some of those extra targets as well. 20 supply compared to 27. A couple of knights have fallen as well, as the Death Knight now looks to retreat back. Pit Lord still trying to win this game by itself. Is it going to find... Oh, that Death Coil a split second late to finish off the Knight, as the Holy Light was able to finish it there. There's level 6 on the Pit Lord. Are we going to see a Doom Guard? Yes, we're going to see a Doom Guard there, and that is it on that Knight. That Knight is going to get Staff of Sanctuary back home, but I believe it is going to end up getting taken down, and now the Doom Guard is inside the base. Better to mail back that Doom Guard back to a place where it isn't going to be destroying your army, as the Pit Lord is still fighting his way through. 17 supply compared to 21. Doom Guard is looking to finish off this Arcane Tower here, and doing a fairly decent job. However, the Arcane Tower does feed back that Doomguard. It is not magic immune. All right, Death Coil finding the Paladin. Paladin gets taken down as a Stormbolt going down onto the Necromancer now. The Obsidian statue still keeping, the army alive and topped off just a bit, as this Water Elemental most likely will just get cleaned up. Doomguard here now retreating simply back, does have cripple, could do a little bit more damage. And what's interesting now is there's not that many units to actually target with Doomguard. Um, there's only 2 heroes out, and a sorceress, a sorceress and a peasant. No, okay, so Archmage, Paladin, Sorceress. Okay, where is that other one supply then? Oh, the flying machine. All right, that flying machine there. So interestingly enough, there's only 2 valid targets for Doomguard, unless the Pit Lord finds a creep camp and then starts trying to convert creeps into Doomguards. All right, 19 supply compared to 21. Paladin getting resurrected. Pit Lord trying to dive on in, and the Doomguard cooldown is about done there. There's a Stormbolt going to finish off the Necromancer. Necromancer losing that Unholy Frenzy. Now, that is going to be a big deal, but just as important, or if not more important, the Altar of Kings now taken down. All right, are we going to see Cripple? Yes, Cripple on that Mountain King. Mountain King pretty much has nowhere to go. Doomguard gets taken out, and that is going to be the GG. Inspired losing to Biko in a marathon match of 30 some odd minutes, going back and forth, lead changes galore, but ultimately the Doomguard was able to have a great enough impact on the game. Oddly enough, 3 level 6 heroes and only 1 ultimate ability seen throughout the match. Anyways, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed it.